Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of my RCT3 Megapark. Now, before I begin this episode, I want to answer some of your questions that I often get in the comment. So, the first question that I often get is whether I will make my park available for download when it is finished. And the answer to that is yes, I will make it available on my Discord server after I finish. So on my Discord server, which is free by the way, you can find the link in the video description. We have a park showcase channel, and I will upload the park there. Now the park does not use any custom scenery. It does use content from both of the expansion packs, so you will need those to open the park. But since it doesn't use any custom scenery yet, you should be able to open it after you download it. Okay. Next question. Well, yeah, I often, it's not really a question. I quite often get the remark that I should use custom scenery in my park to make it look better. Well, yeah, for me, I typically like to use games in ways that don't use any custom scenery. I always like using the base game scenery, rides, etc. So also for this park, the challenge for me was really to make something look good without using any custom content. So all you see in the park is just base game content, well, and the expansion packs, of course. But yeah, that was really the point of this park. So that's why you won't see me use any custom scenery in it. Okay, I also often get questions about my next project after this park is finished. So I've decided that after this park, what I will do is I will build another park in Open Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. So I've already built a few big parks in Open RC2, but I want to do another one. And I've got a really funny and silly idea. So I think you'll just have to look forward to it. I'm definitely looking forward to building a new big park in Open RC2. It's still my favorite game. And then when that park is done, I will probably do a park in Parkitect. I haven't really played that game yet, so just like this park, it will just be a matter of just playing around and finding out how everything works. But yeah, next project will be in Open RC2 again. Alright, with those questions out of the way, I think we can start filling in some of the last spots in the park. So in this episode I want to fill in a few of the open spots we still have remaining, so this part over here. There's a little beach over here, I just want to, you'll see that later in the episode. And here there's another little beach area that I still want to fill in. I think with those areas done, the park will be mostly finished. And then after this episode, there will be one more episode of finishing touches and probably a fireworks show. And with that, we will then end the series. Alright, I did a whole lot of talking. I think it's time for some building. The first thing I want to do in this episode is actually, I haven't really done any track texture in this game yet, but I'm not planning on doing a lot of it. But for a few of my sit-down coasters in the park, I actually wanted to make the lift hills look a little bit nicer. So I want to make some catwalks. And for that, just like an Open RC2, I'm going to use some multi-dimension coaster track. Alright, the multi-dimension coaster track lines up pretty well with the corkscrew coaster track. Now the lift hill or the chain actually does look a little bit glitchy, but I think I can live with that because it does look quite nice overall. So I think this is my first actual track texture in this game, so that's pretty fun. And multi-dimension coaster track actually lines up pretty well with the normal hyper coaster track, so I think that's all good. Alright, we have another sit-down coaster, which also used the corkscrew coaster track. So there I'm also going to use the multi-dimension coaster track. Now for it, I'm just going to play around with some wooden coaster track on the inverted coaster, maybe also the flying coaster, just to see how it looks. But I will probably not end up using them because of their supports. But I do want to see how they look. Now, as I already expected, these supports look kinda strange with all the track underneath and the places where these supports stop. And also, unlike Open RCT2, there's not really a way for me to manipulate which of these supports shows and which one does it without using a custom track or stuff like that. So yeah, I will not end up using these wooden supports. But I have to say, it does look kind of alright. Alright, time to delete them and then move on to the next part. Alright, the next thing I want to do is make something in this area here. Now first off, I was thinking about making like a thrill ride here. I think it will be much more fun to add something from the soaked expansion. So I'm just going to dig a little hole here and fill it with water, and after that I'm gonna start building a ride. Alright, the ride I've added here is a dolphin show. Now, I think this is a really cool addition for this area. Especially, yeah, it's something different than a big thrill ride. And I think from the monorail, the guests also can catch a glimpse of the show, which I think will be quite fun for them to watch. So it might, the guests riding the monorail might come back later to actually go and watch the dolphin show. I hope they don't actually clash with the roof here. Oh yeah, I'll be excited to check out this dolphin show later to see if any guests are queuing for it. Alright, I think this area is now kind of finished. So I just did some simple foliage around the ride. I think the queue actually looks quite nice, and yeah, it simply also added some torches, some benches around it, all that kind of stuff, just to make it look a little bit nicer. Okay, the next thing I want to do is fill up this area over here. Now, I won't be really filling up this area, but just like I did with the dolphin ride, I would just want to add some water under here. Now, I don't actually want to connect it to this water area, just gonna make another one, little reef, some plants around it, that kind of stuff. Okay, I've now just added another little body of water under the coaster here. I think this was a nice way to decorate this area over here right next to the coaster. Yeah, sometimes it's just nicer to do some landscaping in this game rather than building another ride. We already have quite a few rides. Speaking of rides, I do think this little area over here is actually fitting for a nice ride. And I had a certain thrill ride in mind for this area. Let me see if I can find it. I just noticed something funny, which is that you can actually color these boulders. It's something which I had not actually noticed before. Not really sure if I should still use that somewhere in my park, because this color is probably the best. It might actually work in some situations where I just need a bit of more contrast or a bit less contrast, or maybe in areas with a different ground color. But yeah, definitely something interesting. I'm just gonna quickly check if this also works for the Jurassic boulders. No, they don't actually have a recoloring option. That's a shame. I would have liked that. Alright. But the ride type which I had in mind here was the disco. Yeah, I think with its footprint, this is a nice spot for it. Just big enough. Yeah, it's just an easy ride to just plop down, just put some plants around it, and you have a really cool ride. No, I do think it's a shame it's not the longer version of the disco with the extended track. That's the kind of ride I typically build in my RCT2 parks. But yeah, it is how it is. I do think it looks quite nice with its supports. Okay, with that, I think all of the areas in the park are now actually sort of filled in. Yeah, all the we fit this dolphin show over here. Made an extra water pool of water here under the coaster, and we added this disco ride. And yeah, I can't find any other big spots which still have to be filled. So with that, I think most of the building for the park is completed. So what's left to do is mostly just finishing touches. So in the next episode, I will just try to fill any remaining spots just with some foliage, maybe some boulders, just more decorations like that, maybe some lamps. Yeah, any stuff which I can do to still make the park look better. And the final thing I want to do in the park is make a big fireworks show which will play every night when it gets dark. Okay, yeah, with that done, there's still another patron that I need to add to the park. So I will just hire an entertainer. Actually, I'll put him next to the dolphin show. Alright, and this entertainer will be a panda, and his name will be Zach Combs. So yeah, thanks a lot Zach Combs for supporting my channel, I really appreciate it. And I hope you enjoy your spot in the park next to the dolphin show. Alright, that was it for this episode. So yeah, we're almost done, just a little bit more to do, mostly decorating. And then this park will be finished. Alright, hope you enjoyed watching me build, and I'll see you again in the next video. See you later.